Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America Trading Corporation. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Secret War on Cash. Today, we're going to be talking again with a regular here, Chris Agelastos. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks. Good to be here.
You look well rested. I know you just got back from fall break with your kids and went to actually California, get out of the desert heat for a little bit. How was that?
Great. Always an adventure, though, family trip. So sometimes people say that's a little different than a vacation. I think most parents out there will probably know what I mean.
The vacation from a vacation is what you probably need.
That's right.
And in fact, I know you've got a business trip you're leaving this afternoon, but I'm glad. Thanks for joining us here today. And Chris, let's talk a little bit more about BRICS. It's become or is becoming more common knowledge that the intent of BRICS, as voiced even by Putin, is to dethrone the US dollar, and to do so in pretty short order, actually. There's been rumblings that the US would enlist the help of CBDCs to try and thwart or circumvent this move, because clearly, the more people are replacing dollars with BRICS and other currencies, that it does stand to undermine the US dollar, and hence why an action like this might be somewhat expected. Hearing something like this doesn't do much for the bolstering of one's confidence that the dollar is going to be okay, or at least for me, it doesn't. I say this because it seems more like a reactionary move, which is defensive, rather than something that is proactive, which is more strength driven. Now, the Fed is stating that they have no intention of making this switch, citing the risks and uncertainties associated with it. Are we at a point in this country in terms of our currency where we should feel like we're being threatened, like our currency is being threatened, Chris?
Yeah, honestly, I think we're past that point. A lot of people may not realize it yet, and I know for some people, if they're not really paying attention to this, what's been happening in the day to day, they hear little clips here and there, and they may really not understand it. But you're absolutely right. I have very little confidence in, number one, anything the Fed says, because we know they've been working on developing a digital dollar for years and promoting it. And now you have somebody coming out talking about the risks that a lot of people have been concerned about, a lot of citizens. And, why are they saying this? Are they saying it because there's been some backlash? Who do we trust? There's just so little confidence in the Federal Reserve and, quite honestly, our current political system, that I think we all should be worried. This is, I kind of compare politics to sports a lot of times, but are we really going into the game with our best team, our best coaches, our best players? I definitely feel that we're, on the defensive end and trying to hold things together and maybe not doing a great job.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a sensitive situation, or I don't even know if sensitive is the right word, but it's just the more we're hearing about it and the popularity that's building, it just seems like it's becoming more and more a very realistic threat, and not even a future threat, like a closer to current or present day threat, which
imminent. Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, continuing on the topic of BRICS, it was recently reported that at their next summit in 2024, there are 40 additional countries looking to get on board with them. 40 additional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think what's really important to understand in the majority of these cases is that countries looking to get on board is a direct translation into the abandonment of the US dollar. Mm-hmm. And for me, concern is the dollar has already been under attack just due to the current state of the economy and the markets. But this seems like a concerted effort to take it down on a whole nother level. Yeah. And what do you think will happen if this snowball out of dollars and the alignment into BRICS continues?
A massive drop in the dollar's value. And what really has me concerned now is, look, the BRICS, it took almost 10 years to go from 4 countries to 5. In the last year, it's gone from 5 to 11. In the next year, it's looking like it's going from 11 to 40, right? So you're talking about exponential growth here. And that is going to have a massive impact on the value of the dollar. It's all about supply and demand. Obviously, like you said, all these countries fleeing the dollar is signaling a massive drop in demand, which is going to cause the value to drop. And unfortunately, in this country, like a lot of nations really, but we import almost everything, right? So
Right.
if we're paying for goods and services coming from other countries, and we're paying with a dollar that's worth half as much, things are going to cost twice as much. And even if you buy American, right? We've heard that mantra for years. Well, go buy a Ford F-150. Less than half the parts in that vehicle are manufactured in the United States. So if we have to import those and pay for them with a devalued dollar, what does that mean for the price tag on that Ford pickup? And that applies to, that's a simple example, but that applies to almost everything we consume in this country.
Sure. Well, and I think, for those tuning in that, what their background may be financially speaking, and what they may or may not understand about BRICS. It is interesting, Chris, like when you talk about the fallout due to, again, the jumping on board BRICS, which the translation there is the abandonment of the dollar, the ripple effect that creates in our financial system, like you said, that yes, the truck we drive, or the groceries that are on our shelves, our financial markets, can they withstand the dollar losing value rapidly or plummeting, even for that matter? Our banking system, the ripple effect of this is something that could carry huge consequences to literally every aspect of each of us Americans' everyday life. So, well, thank you so much for sharing, Chris. And for those of you tuning in, if you're viewing this, you've seen some of the offers that we have here at Swiss America that you can take advantage of. I highly urge you to, if you have not already, contact our office to get your free complimentary copy of The Secret War. It's a very easy but good read, just talking about some of the things that are happening in our financial system today. You can do that by the toll-free number that, as you see, or for those of you who are listening to this, that's 1-800-289-2646. Or if you'd like, you can visit us online at www.swissamerica, SWISS, all one word. And we'd love to get that off to you. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe. Please feel free to comment. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your comments. You can also follow us on all of the social media platforms. So thank you so much, Chris. Thanks again for sharing with us. And we look forward to the next time you've got some other things, maybe some rosier things to talk about, but appreciate, as always, having you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Have a great trip. And for those of you tuning in, until next time, we'll see you then.